Well, normally we have, fruits and vegetables and apples and eggs. We have spud nuts. But, man does not live by good stuff alone, right? And contrary to popular belief, spud nuts are not gluten-free. There's only a little bit of potato flour in there to give them that distinctive flavor. So, heck, they've been around for what, close to 50 years now? Probably. Long time. Yeah. Parents Guide. So parents, if you have or know any parents that have a psychic or sensitive child or Indigo. Thank you. Whoever said that. Indigo is what I was thinking of. Saturday, September 28th at 1 p.m. $20. But probably well worthwhile if parents are trying to figure out what to do with those little kids. My parents never could figure out what to do with me. Of course, I didn't know what the issue was until I met Jan and we started talking about Indigo, and she goes, "Wait a minute, this is you." Anyway, we do have a couple patron saints by the name of George Carlin and John Lennon. And John said, "All we are saying is give peace a chance." You've heard that song, somebody. And George, so far, this is the oldest I've been. Think about that for a minute. Spring Forest Qigong, 8-hour level 1 class, October 20th and 21st. Talk to Marianne.
There's new flyers in the back.
New flyers? Is this different than this one?
Improved.
Okay. Oh, improved. Okay. So there is a cost, but talk to Marianne. If you've never done Qigong, it is a wonderful alternative to surgery. Surgery. Yeah. And to trying to live through life with all of our trials and tribulations. So, calendar. This is the 8th, which means start with Qigong. Oneness blessing. Some of you missed the oneness blessing this morning. Hey, guess what? There's one right after services too. So take part. Fun stuff. The emotion code on Monday. And essential oils with Cindy. You're doing that on Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay. Essential oils with Cindy, right there. And, well, not right there, actually on Tuesday. But introductions to Qigong healing on Wednesday at 6:30. Jan's doing a widget class on Thursday. ARE meets on Thursday. Ancient Ones on Friday. And do you have flyers or anything about Ancient Ones, or people that might not know what that is? Or?
They can talk to me.
Okay. Talk to Janice if you don't know what Ancient Ones is or could be.
It's way cool.
It is cool. You only do that a couple of times a year, maybe?
Yeah.
So,
Stiff that.
yeah, and then the process, Josie, is Saturday on the 14th. Good stuff. Things that make you go, For many men that stumble at the threshold are well foretold that danger lurks within. William Shakespeare. Endurance is frequently a form of indecision. Princess Elizabeth Babesco, 1897. Smart lady. All right. 1980. 31 years after the Roadrunners cartoons debuted in an episode entitled Soup or Sonic, Wile E. Coyote finally catches the Roadrunner. He then holds up a sign saying, "Okay, wise guys, you always wanted me to catch them. Now what do I do?" I remember that one. Yeah. This was interesting. I like this. There's a term that came into use during the War of 1812 and was born in Troy, New York. The government inspector there was Uncle Sam Wilson. And when the war opened, Albert Anderson, the contractor in New York, bought a large amount of beef, pork, and pickles for the army. I'm saying pickles. These were inspected by Wilson and were duly stamped EA/US, meaning Albert Anderson for the United States. The term U.S. for the United States was then somewhat new, and the workmen concluded that it actually referred to Uncle Sam Wilson. After they discovered their mistake, they kept the name as a joke. These same men soon went to war, where they repeated the joke repeatedly. It got into print and made the rounds. From that time on, the term Uncle Sam was used facetiously for the United States, and it now represents the nation. Interesting. All right, more little kids talking about angels. I don't remember where I left off. I think, yeah, wait. Okay, this is Michael Mitchell, age 7. Angels work for God. Watch over kids when God has to go do something else. Henry, age 8. My guardian angel helps me with my math, but he's not much good for science. And Jack, age 6. Angels don't eat, but they drink milk from holy cows. Did anyone ever watch Art Linkletter?
Oh, yeah.
That show was just, I love it. Yeah, I would do nothing during the day except to watch that show. And I was, kind of grown a little bit, but still, we're funny. Why are you in a movie, but you're on TV? Why do people pay to go up in tall buildings and then put money in binoculars to look at things on the ground? Why do doctors leave the room while you change? They're going to see you naked anyway. I don't know. I wonder these things. Let's see if I can't read this. I've got kind of little notes here to try to see what I'm doing. Jacques Chirac, the French Prime Minister, was sitting in an office wondering what was going on with the United States when the telephone rang. "Hello, Mr. Chirac," a heavily accented voice said. "This is Gallagher, down here in Hart County, Kerry, Ireland. I was ringing you to inform you that we are officially declaring war on you." "Well, Gallagher," Chirac replied, "this is indeed important news. How many people are in your army?" "Well, right now," he said after a moment's calculation, there's myself, my cousin Sean, next door neighbor Seamus, and the entire dart team from the pub. That makes 8 of us." So, Chirac paused. "Well, I must tell you, Gallagher, that I have 100,000 men in my army, and they're at my will and command." "Begorra," said Gallagher, "I'll have to call you right back." Sure enough, the next day Gallagher called again. "Mr. Chirac, 'tis meself again. The war is still on. I managed to get some infantry equipment." "And what equipment would that be, Gallagher?" he asked. "Well, we have 2 combines, a bulldozer, and Murphy's farm tractor." Chirac sighed, amused. "I must tell you, Gallagher, I have 6,000 tanks, 5,000 armored carriers. Also, I've increased my army to $150,000 since we last spoke." "The saints preserve us," said Gallagher. "I'll have to get back to you." Sure enough, Gallagher called the next day. "Mr. Chirac, the war is still on. We have managed ourselves an airborne, though. We have modified Dan O'Brien's ultralight with a couple of shotguns in the four boys from Shamrock Pub have joined us as well." Chirac was silent for a minute and then cleared his voice. "I must tell you, Gallagher, that I have bombers, 200 fighter planes. My military complex is surrounded by laser-guided surface-to-air missiles, and since we last spoke, I've increased my army to 200,000 men." "Holy St. Joseph," said Gallagher, "I'll have to get back to you." Sure enough, Gallagher called the next day. "Top of the morning to you, Mr. Chirac. Called to tell you that we had to call off the old war." "I'm sorry to hear that, Chirac. Why the sudden change of heart?" "Well," said Gallagher, "we had all this chit-chat over a bunch of pints and decided there's no way we can feed 200,000 prisoners of war." Now that's positive thinking.
Your Irish accent sounded almost
My Irish accent.
Det går det med Seamus.
They're going for Southern Day.
And I am Irish, so
Southern Ireland.
Texas Ireland.
Well, it is true. Southern Ireland is where
It is.
it's from.
Ireland, Southern Ireland.
Good morning, everyone.
Couple things here. We're having some problems, if you noticed, with the
sound.
Yeah.
So due to those problems, the camera's not being plugged into the sound, so it is picking up a lot of the noise around it. So we're asking that the chatter and the talking be kept to nothing. Not to a bare minimum, but to nothing.
I'm
Because
going to
it's,
plug it into a different port and see if that'll help.
yeah, it's picking
I
up
can-
all of.
Yeah,
this.
because it keeps popping in and out, and then this pops in and out too. So
Makes it hurt.
yeah, it's been kind of popping on there, so I've avoided plugging it in today.
Okay.
And
The
what's your
other
name?
thing is that we're going to be doing away with our book library in the back. It's just become too much and we weren't able to keep it up. And so the books that are on the shelf and on the tables are going to be free to anybody who wants them for the next 2 Sundays.
Oh, my.
And then after that, we'll be donating them to society.
Please feel free to go back and take whatever books you want. The more you take, the less we have to haul away. So, and then there's a giveaway table. We had a cleanup day yesterday. There's a giveaway table back there with some items on it, the little glass round one in between the books. So please feel free to take those items as well. Otherwise, they will be going to Goodwill. Oh, these lovely lamps here, we're raffling today only. So if you'd like to buy a ticket for, this one is an electrical salt lamp plug-in. This one is a selenite that you put a candle in, and it's only $1 for the ticket. So if you didn't get a raffle ticket, please let me know. Hold up your hand. I'll come to you. $1 ticket, but they're going at the end of service. And let's see. Oh, we're doing what's called applied intuition class. This year we've really ramped it up a bit. And so one of the things we're going to be doing this month is that there's an item in this bag. There's a process of 3 things that we're going to be going through. Beth will take us through the processes, and then I do the interpretation for you if you have questions. So you're going to need to really concentrate on what you think this item is. How does it make you feel? What kind of a message does it have for you? Am I missing anything, Beth? And then of course, what do you think's in it? So you can describe it, you can feel it, but you have to show up to class to find out what it is. So really interesting stuff. We're going to have more than one item, more than one bag. So we really hope to see everybody at the class. That would be wonderful. The more the merrier. So yeah. I think that was everything. If I forgot anything, Janice, let me know.
And we'll do our song in just a minute. But I had to say that we do have some eggs in the back now to go along with donuts.
You have the microphone.
I do. About what? We, this week has been a little challenging for everyone because of all the news and the indescribable tragedy in Las Vegas. There's just no way you can even talk about things like that, really. So everyone has a different way to cope, and we've decided to do 3 candles for that whole episode to help you focus on the people that have passed and on the people that are living still.
We feel that it's really important for us to not only recognize the tragedy, but also recognize that there's so much love and help that's available. And so this is like a remembrance and a hope. So go ahead. Phil's going to light 1 candle, and as he lights one wick, I want you to remember, push forward. Now click. Remember those that perished in that event, and just hold them gently in your heart for now. Just wait a second. And as you're experiencing that and knowing that their lives were cut short by a horrible act, we can honor them for the lives that they were, the bright spirits that they were. And now Phil's going to light a candle for the ones that were injured, that survived. Because even though they survived, their lives will never be the same. So we're just going to hold them in light, hold them in love for this moment. And Phil's going to light a third wick, and this is for the families that are going to be forever changed. And we are family. We will be forever changed. So hopefully that change will be a blessing, that we know we can be a blessing, that when there's a need, we will step up. We will be the light, and we will be the love. So we'll continue to light this candle for the next little bit, but it'll stay lit during services as just a reminder and a blessing for us all. May you be blessed. For those of you who are on YouTube, I strongly encourage you to go look up Deneen and the song Walk in Balance. It's totally fitting for what we did today. What's really interesting is Phil picked the song out earlier, and he had totally forgotten we were going to do this. So he's often guided and led to just exactly what our souls need. So love that. Thank you, Mr. Phil. And this only works when you go over your shoulder for some reason. Works every time. Go straight on, nothing. Too funny. Life is hilarious sometimes. I wrote a poem, it's not really a poem, what's kind of a poem, years ago, and it's called Somewhere, and I want to read it to you. Somewhere between faith and fortitude, somewhere between prayer and promise, somewhere between yesterday and tomorrow, somewhere between choice and destiny, somewhere between maybe and why the heck not, somewhere between action and patience, somewhere between oblivious and wonderment, somewhere between forgotten and beloved, somewhere between forever and now, somewhere between wisdom and logic, somewhere between breath and heartbeat, somewhere between joy and laughter, somewhere between here and there, you'll find a sacred place. You'll find the divine fellowship. Isn't that kind of right on? We're not, you can't really pin us down, can you? You know, people say, well, tell us about the divine fellowship. You know, I don't know what to tell you. Just kind of show up and it's all good. Today, I want to talk to you about words to live by. Words to live by. Because we all have them. Maybe you don't realize that you do, but we do. And I think sometimes the words that we live by are a blessing, and sometimes they can hinder us. So it's important to take a look at what words you're living by. There's two sets of words that work for me, and I want to share both of them with you. The first one, though, comes out of the Bible. In Mark chapter 14, there's a story of the woman who washes Jesus' feet. She takes a really expensive perfume and anoints his feet and washes his feet. And lo and behold, she was criticized for that. You think meanness started with Facebook? It's been around a long time. And there's just mean people who are just going to criticize. But she did that, and Jesus said, leave her alone. Here's the phrase. She has done what she could. You'll even hear me say she did, but she could. And that's enough. It's enough. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get it exact. Do what you can. And sometimes your kindness will be criticized. Yay, you're in good company. Meanness is out there. Are you going to listen to the meanness, or are you going to let the words form your life? She did what she could. And if I could do a little more, I do a little more. And when I'm done, I'm done. And I let it go. Because I can only do what I can only do. What words do you live by? What's in there running your programs? Are they positive words? Do you tell yourself positive stuff? Often we don't. Often we do. We do the shoulda, coulda, woulda, oughta, gotta, must, have to, always, and never. Don't you love that? I have people say, can you repeat that? I can't write that fast enough. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's past. I should have done that. You should have done that. I could have done that, and I didn't. I'm a terrible person. I would have done it, but life happened. You know, all that stuff. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's in the past. Judgment. It's judgment. Are you telling yourself shoulda, coulda, woulda? Which is more blessing to the soul? She did what she could, or shoulda, coulda, woulda? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's the past. And then in the future, looking forward, it's like oughta, gotta, must. I oughta do this. I gotta do that. I must do this. You must do this. You gotta do that. Judgment. There's no blessing in that. It just makes us feel crazy. It just sucks the life out of us, because then we can never fulfill somebody else's expectations. Has there ever been a time when somebody expected something of you and you did it perfectly? And they said, oh, I'm so happy you did that. No, they probably said you didn't do it perfectly enough. Oh, you're wearing the wrong color shoes when you did that. People are mean. When they're not in balance, like that song, Walk in Balance, when they're not in balance, they're going to be mean. And if you're in balance and you're trying to do the right thing, you're going to hear it. I'm sorry. That's how it is. That's another one of my phrases. It is what it is. We can't fix that. That's human nature. What we can fix is our sense of that. Knowing that that's normal, but we're the new normal. We don't have to live like that. We don't have to be mean in exchange. We don't have to allow ourselves to be beaten down by the meanness. We can go, oh look, there's meanness. That person's out of balance. I can go walk over there. Why throw yourself at their mercy? Why allow them to ruin a good thing? That woman who washed Jesus' feet, she was really criticized. Oh, you should take that money that could have gone for that perfume, sold it, and given to the poor. And you know who said that? It's a person who was holding the purse strings and was stealing. So when somebody criticizes you, they have an ulterior motive, and it's for their own benefit, not yours. So the criticism is going to be there. We can't go, la, 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 I don't hear anything. But just recognize it for what it is. Well, you can go la, 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 but you know, you miss other stuff. You miss the good stuff when you're busy doing the la, la, la. So shoulda, coulda, woulda, oughta, gotta, must. Then the have-tos and nevers. Always have-tos and nevers. The have to do it. You have to do this, or you have to be a certain way. Who says? If your heart is telling me, if my heart is telling me, this is something necessary for me, that's not a have to. That's a mission. That's a destiny. And hell or high water, that's going to happen. Not by my force of will, but by me showing up. If somebody else throws a have to at me, I go, I do? Okay. How many people love to be told what to do? Not too many in the room, right? You know, we don't tell me what to do. But we tend to try to tell other people what to do. You should do that. You should do this other thing. What if we just said, wouldn't it be a good idea to look at this? I wonder what would happen if we did it that way. It might be a good idea to do blah, blah, blah. Then that person could go, is that a good idea for me, or is that not a good idea for me? And they get to think about it. But the second we say you have to you must, you should, that's the second people shut down. Then there's the always and never. You always, you never. Don't you just love those blanket statements that just cover the whole world and all those wonderful times when things were really good and you did nice, kind things, they're forgotten because the always takes over and the never takes over. So what's better, a better way to go is I prefer. I love that. I prefer. I prefer we do this. Then they can choose in or choose out. How powerful is that? When we give other people power, we empower ourselves. And the criticism stops. Because we stop criticizing ourselves and we stop allowing ourselves to be victimized by other people's criticism. Because guess what? They're going to do that. They're going to criticize. So what words are coming in your head? What words do you live by every day? I should do this, I should do that, I have to do this, I have to do that. Better not let it rock the boat. Whatever is going on in your brain, what is the underlying programming? Take a look at that. Phil has a program that he runs. You'll love this one. It's better to beg forgiveness than ask for permission. Since he was little, that's what he runs by. Yep. I know Roy, his words that he lives by is, by the grace of God, there go I. So he's allowing that divine source to guide him and bless him in everything he does. Susan's not here. She has one, I don't know if I can quote it exactly right. It was really cool. I have enough to spare and enough to share, and my life is being abundantly blessed, or something like that. Isn't that beautiful? That changes everything. And whatever's running in the background of your mind, of your being, of your soul, of your subconscious, is going to change how you live every single day. If whatever you're living right now is not bringing you absolute joy, your programming is screwing things up. It's not that person out there. It's not that person over there. It's not this person over here who criticized you. It's your programming. The programming that we give ourselves creates an immunity. Now here's the thing. I wasn't going to tell you this, but here it is. The first marriage that I had was verbally abusive. And, you know, bless his soul, I think I learned a lot from all of that. And because when I left that relationship, when that door finally closed, I finally walked through the open door of getting the heck out of Dodge, and I finally closed that door, I never allowed anyone else to verbally abuse me again, ever. When you've been abused by the best, you recognize the rest. It's like, I recognize that. AT double hockey sticks, no. You know, I had a boss shortly after that. You know, I hadn't ever worked. You know, I went to college, got married, had kid, lived that life, and then I had to get out and provide for myself. So here I was in a job, and the employer that I had, the boss that I had, was this big company, and I worked for a law firm. And one of the people there was abusive, and he pulled me into somebody else's office in front of a whole bunch of other attorneys and chewed me out because the filing wasn't right. Well, I let him just chew the heck out of me because I was stunned. Then I took the file and I said, I'll look at it. Looked at the file, took it straight to HR and said, this filing was done before I ever became his secretary. Move me now. She did. I was out of there within minutes. Blew everybody's mind because you don't talk back to your attorney. You just take it. You just take that in that culture. Not this one. I would rather walk out the door and try to find another job than put up with that ever, ever, ever again. So the program in my mind was HE double hockey sticks. No. And that motivated me to do it differently. So I'm grateful for what I experienced because it made me so strong. Nobody else had the power to do that. Everybody else was cringing because their attorney yelled at them in public in front of everybody. Nope. People would come to me and say, how'd you do that? Well, I don't know. I didn't even think about it. I just went straight to HR and said, move me. I had to give up a really nice boss to do it. But I mean, I had to work for 3 attorneys at the same time. So I had to give up the other 2 who were really nice, but I was out of there. Criticism is optional. Receiving it is optional. The criticism happens. What are you going to do? What words are you living by? She did what she could. It is what it is. I prefer a boss who treats me like a human being. Thank you. What are you living by? What words are blessing your soul? What words are guiding you? They're your rudder. And we all have them. They're those little catchphrases that are always playing in the background. Do you recognize what they are? Anybody have one that comes up to your remembrance that you want to share? Yes, ma'am. It's all good? What was yours? Huh? We know better. When you know better, do better. Oh, I love that. Very cool. It's all good. It's all good. Anybody have a negative thing running around in there? Because we can shift that. What's the negative thing you got running around in there? We all have them. I can't? You can't? You can't. Oh, that little voice says, you can't do that. Here's the cure for that. Until now. Because you know it's based on evidence. Up until now, you've had all these experiences of failure, until now. I'm a different person than I was last time I tried that. I know more stuff. What else? Not good enough. Until now. You know what the cure for that one is? Not my stuff. See, the thing is with I'm sorry, when we say I'm sorry, is we try to make everybody else's world okay. Often people who do that are empathic. Because if you're suffering, I hurt, I feel it. So I want your world to be perfect so I don't have to feel your pain. When the truth is, if you really love someone enough, you'll let them have their pain so they can grow. So I love you enough to let you work through this your own way. You know, if somebody has an issue or has a problem, you know, sometimes I can say, if anybody can figure this out, you can. Some of you have heard me say that to you. And wow, that is so empowering. Rather than I'm sorry, let me fix it. It's like, you got this. You can figure this out. Instead of fixing it, we can empower somebody else to do it. Bless your soul. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Back to not good enough. Cure for that one? Says who? The complainers? They're going to complain. The past experiences? You haven't seen me yet. I'm just stepping into who I really am. Stand back, watch this, right? Just don't do the hold my beer, watch this. That's a whole other thing. We don't want to go there. Words are powerful. Thoughts are powerful. What are you saying to yourself? What are you saying to yourself? And it doesn't have to be complicated or hard. Matter of fact, the shorter, the sweeter, the better. Unless you can memorize the big, long, shoulda, coulda, woulda, oughta, must have to, was, never. And then it just gets to be fun. Because then when you hear yourself say that, you go, there it is again. Or if you hear somebody else say it, you go, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. That's a wonderful thing. Because then you can look at it. You don't have to act, you don't have to do, you don't have to fix, you don't have to change. Just, look at that. I want you to practice that one with me. Okay, you ready? It sounds like this. You go, look at that. Let's try that again. Look at that. Is that hard? No. Do it again, one more time. Look at that. You're going to use that one. I know you were.
How fascinating.
How fascinating. Curious. And when in doubt, I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and they were just off on some tangent. And, you know, I wasn't going to change their mind. They weren't going to change mine. It's like playing volleyball or tennis or badminton or something. They're dumping all this stuff your way. Just volley it back into their court. They've got this. This is their stuff. Let them have it. When we take it on and fix it or try to change their mind, all we're doing is complicating matters. Let them find their way. Love them enough to allow. Allow is a very powerful spiritual tool. Any others? Because I have a guided meditation I want to share with you. Phil and I were talking about this one on the way in. I think you're going to love this.